Hi there, Rhiannon Morgan. There's my student ID. Today I'm going to talk about the Johari model. This is a communication model that's used to increase understanding and improve understanding between individuals by increasing their own self-awareness. The name Johari model comes from the name of the two psychologists who created it in 1955, Joseph Luft and Harry Ingham. And the window is really sort of a window into a person themselves. Because essentially it's a visual representation, sort of a four square, that it's a representation of a person's character. The goal is to demonstrate the importance of open communication and the effect that that has on group dynamics and group trust. And it makes you focus really on the importance of self-disclosure, and it shows how feedback can help a person grow both personally and professionally. So as I said, there's four quadrants to the grid, and quadrant number one is the open area. These are things that you know about yourself and that other people know about you. Quadrant number two is the blind area, and these are things that you may not be aware of yourself but that other people know about you. So these can be simple things, but they can also, this can include deeper issues, people who feel a sense of incompetence or unworthiness or have issues that they cannot sort of face and deal with, but that are glaringly obvious to other people. And this can affect, of course, your work performance and your personal relationships with other people. The third area is the hidden area. And these are things that you know about yourself, but that other people don't know about you. And then the fourth area is the unknown area, and these are qualities that you don't identify in yourself and other people don't identify in you. So the Johari window, the sort of two key ideas are that you can build trust with other people by disclosing information about yourself, and that with feedback from other people you can learn about yourself and maybe come to terms with any sort of issues that you have, or you can work on things. The goal, of course, would be then to increase your open area, the stuff that you know about yourself and that other people know about you. It's the most important quadrant, because the more you know about your coworkers and they know about you, the more effectively you can work as a team, more cooperative you can be, the more productive you can be at work. So enlarging your open area is done through self-disclosure, the give and take about yourself to other people, and from them, getting the feedback. People who have a large open area are generally people who can communicate easily, and honestly and openly. They get along well in groups. People who have a smaller open area are harder then to talk to because they don't really reveal it much about themselves. That sense of trust that you develop through open communication isn't there. A person who has a large blind area most probably has issues that they can't face, qualities about themselves that they don't want to or cannot see. This can then be people with low self-esteem or anger, and it can be more difficult to communicate and work with such a person. So as you share more about yourself, your open area is going to expand vertically, because there's going to be less that other people see that you don't see. Vertical and horizontal, my apologies. There's going to be less that you're keeping hidden to yourself. So it expands vertically. This area, that are the things that you know that you don't, that other people don't, will get smaller, because your open area that you know and other people know will get larger. As you get more feedback from your coworkers, it's horizontally across, your blind area will decrease, because the things that other people see in you, they will tell you, and therefore there'll be less that they see that you don't. And so that essentially, through that give and take and the feedback, is how you build the trust with your coworkers or the people around you. So accepting the feedback is very important, because other people's comments can help you learn things about yourself that you don't see. That's very, very important for personal growth. Alternatively, if the people around you are also interested in learning more, they can share about themselves, and then you can give them feedback. Feedback doesn't always have to be positive necessarily, but it needs to be constructive for this to really work for self-growth. You can end up finding common interests, you can end up finding common goals, and then working together to achieve them. As a person's self-esteem and confidence rises, it becomes easier to do the feedback. So the more you share and the more you increase your open area, the easier this model becomes to use. So what I did was I found a test online, an interactive Johari window test online. There, I think you can see that. And I emailed 23 people, mostly my coworkers, and asked them to participate with me. So there's a grid of the various adjectives that you can pick, and you had to pick 5. To really work with this, I think you would want to use more, but for the sake of this sort of quick exercise, I picked 5. And the 5 words that I picked about myself are intelligent, kind, knowledgeable, sensible, and trustworthy. So the interesting thing is, though I invited 23 people to participate, I received 11 or 12 responses, and 4 of my 5 are in my open area. So these are the things that I identified about myself. Number 1, intelligent. 63% of people who responded picked that word to describe me. Kind, knowledgeable, and sensible also received numerous. Kind was 36, knowledgeable was 45, and sensible was 36. So that's a fairly, apparently other people see and recognize what I see. Then the list of my blind spot, I did find this kind of interesting because it sort of depends on definitions and semantics. There were some, for example, I said I was kind. Other people said friendly, caring, giving. I'm assuming we're sort of identifying the same sort of characteristics, but on the other hand, they are slightly different. So that was interesting to see. I think really what was very revealing, or what raised the most questions for me, was trustworthy. That was something I identified about myself that no one else did. It's possible, given my line of work in the justice system, we just have to be, we have ethical obligations, we have to be trustworthy. So maybe my coworkers don't think to identify that as a characteristic, but it is actually something that's very important to me. So I think that is, out of this exercise, what I will sort of work on. Maybe get some feedback, see why that wasn't identified, because it is actually something that is personally very important to me, not just in a work function. So the Johari model, I highly recommend it, and I have a feeling some of my coworkers will be trying it out now. It was very educational and can be a great tool to help improve your self-awareness, to help you then improve your communication with others.